Hey there everyone, I am King Phi, meteorologist Adam Claibon, and what another pretty nice day out there. Summer like yet again in terms of how it felt, because we saw temperatures well into the 70s, even a few 80s out there, and how it looked outside. We had some of that smoke haze across the skies, very reminiscent, of course, of how summer usually is for us. Now, as we head on into the evening, we're going to keep that around, and really we're going to talk about that again into the forecast for Wednesday. All right, let's get into what actually is happening here and a little more into the serious stuff. We do have air quality alerts that are across the eastern slopes of the Cascades, and then also for a couple of us here on the western sside of the mountains. That is Snohomish County and also King County. Both of those counties under that air quality alert here until tomorrow at noon. And that is indicated there by the gray shading that you see popping up right there into those two counties. So expect, especially if you're above 1,000, maybe 1,500 feet, to deal with some poor air quality. And there could be some localized areas that are very poor. So that's something that we're monitoring here as we head on into the evening, as that could be an issue here as we go throughout the next 24 to maybe 36 hours. Throughout the night into the day tomorrow, we'll start to see a little more of that onshore push, and that will start to improve the air quality as we go deeper into Wednesday and more so into the day on Thursday, with a weak front pushing on through. But you can see definitely more the issue with the air quality east of the mountains, and most of us here on the western side of the mountains right now dealing with moderate air quality. But you can see how things are really shaping up for us. As we head into the night, we do have a little more of that northerly flow, so that keeps areas closer to I-5 from really getting into too much of the dense smoke. And once we head on into Thursday, that's 3:30 in the afternoon. All of that westerly wind, that onshore push, helps to blow that right again across the eastern side of the mountains, and even then you're starting to see things begin to thin out as far as the smoke. Easterly flow though today helped things to warm up. Check it out, 75 for a high out at SeaTac Airport, 79 in Puyallup. That number in Shelton actually was into the 80s. That's a misread right there for you. 74 in Quileute and 71 in Bellingham. So a very warm day as far as high temperatures here across the area for the first full day of autumn, and heading into the second full day, well, expect to see pretty much more of the same. We'll have a bit more of that haze across the skies, a little less though by the afternoon, and then we're cooling down as we go later into the week. Some clouds around, higher chances of rain coming in late Sunday evening and heading on into Sunday night, and more so into Monday. Just look at the haze up this way around Stevens Pass. You can see it just looks absolutely dreadful if you're trying to be out there, and head up that way maybe for a hike or something. Probably not the best idea today or either early into the day for tomorrow. Paulsville, you can also see the haze off into the distance over the Olympics, and then looking from our Port Angeles camera, things looking much clearer up here. We got that still water, high pressure is in control, so that's really limiting the wind flow up that way, while our SchoolNet site here in Granite Falls gives you more of the same picture, hazy skies because of the smoke, and then our Tacoma camera really barely even showing where Mount Rainier is. You can see it, it's actually right there, the tip of it at least, right there. So we'll expect that again to start to improve by tomorrow afternoon, and we'll see the same for us here in Everett and also around Seattle as we continue to deal with some pretty poor air quality in some of those spots higher up. But at least here in the city, I don't think we're dealing with too much of an issue here. Currently sitting in more of the mid-70s early into more of your Tuesday evening, and we're going to drop quickly. We'll go from the 70s down into at least the 50s closer to midnight, and it looks like we're well into the 50s by early tomorrow morning as we start off the day. Wanted to point this out again, current winds, you have more of that easterly flow that's across the eastern side of the state, and with that being the case, you're getting a little more of that smoke haze across our skies, but we're also noticing too at the same time a little bit of a north and a northwesterly direction with our wind. So that's helping to keep it from really getting too thick and dense here closer to areas right along Puget Sound in the immediate I-5 corridor or just off to the west there. Now, temperatures have definitely warmed up because of that easterly flow. We've seen numbers up by about 5 to close to even 11 degrees from at this point yesterday, which puts many of us, as we speak, more so into those 70s. Now, let's check out radar, and you can definitely tell that there's nothing going on right now to speak of. So as we head on here into the evening, we're going to keep things very quiet. We'll continue to see some maybe haze here and there, and then we'll head into the day for tomorrow dealing with a bit more of that will be around. Maybe a cloud or two, but generally, again, just more of the hazy skies because of the smoke. By the afternoon, things will start to improve. We'll get a little more of that onshore push to come back around, but a lot more of it is on the way later on into Wednesday night. And what's going to be happening Wednesday night? Well, you'll start to see a little more of that cloud development coming in from off of the coast, and that's arriving closer to us as we head into generally Thursday morning, and that's going to be part of our dry front that will push on by. Not much in terms of rain with it, maybe a sprinkle or two out there, but generally dry, but definitely going to increase that onshore push to help to cool things down and to blow a lot of that wildfire smoke haze on out of here. We'll continue on, it looks like, through Thursday, and we'll continue to see more of that flow from off of the Pacific, and we'll keep highs much cooler back into more of the 60s. And then as we continue on here into the week, here we are going into Friday, you can see a lot of the moisture directed and really tracking across areas of British Columbia and southeast Alaska. Saturday's more the same story too, maybe up there near the Canadian border if you're in the immediate north spots of maybe the San Juans or getting up closer to that northern Whatcom County area. You might see a few sprinkles or showers out of that. Same could be said for northern Clallam County too, but really not seeing anything too organized until we head into the second half of Sunday, and then even at that point too, a lot of that rain not coming too much together until we head into the morning hours of Monday, and then that's when that is going to start to sweep on through, and that will start to work its way off to the east. That'll be, it looks like, as of right now, our best chance of seeing some rain here across the region. Now, as far as the temperatures, we are going to start to fall back down into the 60s starting up on Thursday with that front pushing on by, and with that second system, we fall back into the 60s because we are going to see a brief warm-up heading into Saturday out ahead of it. So your forecast tonight, it's going to be a bit cool, especially with the clear skies around. Kind of chilly in a few spots like in Quileute, Port Angeles, Shelton, and in Olympia as we dip down into the 40s there. We'll dip down into the low 50s in a lot of our other spots. And for highs tomorrow, we top off at 68 in Blaine, mid-60s around Orcas Island, getting up into more than mid-70s around Granite Falls, Monroe up to 75, 67 in Coopville, around the mid-70s in Shoreline, a high of 75 in Maple Valley, Auburn topping off at 77, Bremerton at 74, 78 in Puyallup, and 78 in Olympia, while areas farther south could get up to that 80-degree mark again around Castle Rock and Longview, while keeping more of the 60s as we do start to increase that onshore push again out towards the coast. Claylock up to 63. 63 as well as in Taholah. We'll top off at around 71 at Hump Tulips, and then off towards the east where we don't have as much of that impact and that influence from off of the Pacific. Expect 70s for Shelton, Elma, and up around Quilcene. Your 7-day forecast, another sunny but yet hazy day heading into Wednesday. Warm one too as we top off in the mid-70s, and then a bit more of that fall-like feel to come as we head into the end of the work week. Through the weekend, some showers possible, but not really until the latter part of the day on Sunday. So most of the weekend will stay dry, and then we'll head into the start of next work week, and that's when we'll probably have the better opportunity of seeing some rain. Okay, everyone, well, if you are a summer fan, you are trying to hold on as much as possible to these last few days of the warm weather. We do expect things to eventually get a bit more wet, but for the time being, it looks like we are going to keep things drier than not. Okay, everyone, well, take care. Have a terrific Tuesday night. We'll talk to you soon.